Welcome to the world of real estate. Hey there. Welcome to our second episode of 5 Minute Real Estate Gab with me, Gabriel Fernandez. I'm really excited for this video series and I'm glad that you're joining me again. If you missed the first episode, you can see it on my website, buyingfredericksburg.com. You can see it on the Facebook page, you can see it on the YouTube, you can see it on all the social networks. If you're looking for my app to watch the videos with, just look up Gabriel Fernandez on your app store. I'm somewhere in between the Hispanic music stations. You'll find my face, click on that handsome face, download the app, alright? Anyway, in this episode we're going to discuss the difference between buying and renting. So, there are several obvious differences separating the two, but let's break down one of the most important ones first that everybody's worried about, and that's money, right? So let's take a look at the initial costs. So when you're renting, several options available. Let's talk about the two real quick, just so that we have a frame of reference. So you can rent from a private company, like an apartment, a townhouse complex, or you can turn to a real estate agent. With the first option, there's usually a deposit needed. Sometimes they will have offers though where your deposit's only a couple $100. Sometimes it can be as high as a month's rent. Maybe more depending on your credit though. So your rent tends to be a little bit lower. Maybe like in this general area, maybe like between $900 to $1,100. But you're still responsible for renter's insurance and in most cases utilities. Some places you rent from might have certain utilities included, such as like water or trash. But for the main part, take into consideration charges for your cable, your internet, your electricity, gas, water. When finding a rental with a real estate agent, in most cases you will need the first month's rent and deposit just as you would with a private company. Your deposit's 1 month's rent. The rent in most cases might be a little bit higher and it's usually compensated for by having a little bit more room. You usually have a bigger house. In most cases it's an actual house and not just like an apartment. At least in this area. There's condos in different areas. But anyway, when you use a real estate agent such as myself, maybe not as handsome as me, but you know, a real estate agent, they'll have access to all the homes in the MLS listing system that are available for rent. Just as they will with home sales, that MLS shows them the properties that are available. They take you out, they show you the homes, they match your criteria, they'll help you fill out your application, and you will need the same basic things for both scenarios, your W-2s, your pay stubs, more often than not a full month's deposit plus the applicable pet deposits. In most areas this is the best way to rent a home, but it's slightly harder to qualify going through a real estate agent than it is through a private company. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked explaining those two things, but it doesn't hurt to learn. So, alright, let's look at the example now. 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse, purchase price for $200,000 compared to a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse rental. Your rent for the townhouse will probably be $1,200. Your mortgage, depending on the loan, taxes, other factors like that we'll cover in other videos, will probably be, we'll say $1,200 as well. Alright, so as a renter, you don't have to worry about things like maintenance, upkeep. Things like air filters could be like $200 a year, lawn equipment, tools, could run you about another $450. Items needing maintenance, which the price could vary depending if we're talking about like a power washing or gutter cleaning. But let's just say $1,500 a year, right, if you're owning. So now if you want to renew your home warranty, that covers things like anything in the house that breaks, like appliances. Each warranty is different, but we'll cover that in another video anyway. But you're looking at another $500 a year. So renting, you have spent $14,400. All right, let's move to the table. I'm going to show you this in a little bit of an easier way. So come on over here and let's check this stuff out, right? Hold on. I'm going to reset the camera. Okay, so we're back and situated. This is going to help me explain it in a lot easier way. So we're going to use these poker chips, right? Okay, so we were talking about the rent and owning, right? So I'm trying to show you how owning could actually be better for you in the long run than renting. Obviously, a lot of people might know this, but I would like to cover it anyway. So we said that $1,200 was your rent. So we'll do 1,000. 1,200, and 1,200 is also your mortgage, right? So this is renting, this is buying, okay? So let's say after a year, We're going to need a lot more chips, basically. After a year of renting, you have spent $14,400, right? So this is going to be $5,000. So we got $14,400, okay? Now, if you were paying your mortgage, you have the $14,400, and you also have what we were talking about earlier, the air filters, your lawn equipment and tools, right? So now we're looking at closer to $17,000 for that one. So now obviously we're spending more money after a year of owning than we would renting, right? Utilities and everything else that we talked about aside. Almost $3,000 more. Thinking best case scenario, hoping that nothing breaks, no, big appliances, your home warranty doesn't cover something. After 10 years, you have spent $144,000 renting and $170,000 buying, right? So we're going to do this. This is going to be $10,000. So we got, let's do the blue ones, maybe $10,000. Got all sorts of colors and stuff. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? Let's just say $140,000 after 10 years. And right here, we got 50, 100,000, 150,000, 170,000. So we've definitely spent more owning than we have renting, right? So, I mean, if you want to throw in like all the extra fees and costs of renovating your house and everything, that's fine. That's obviously more than renting. But guess what? After 10 years, that's gone. You have no money left because you weren't investing in an asset of yourself. This can be flipped around and moved around now, right? So, over the past 10 years as a homeowner, you have developed equity. It's been 10 years since you bought the house. You spent roughly $170,000, maybe another $30,000 in renovations, and it turns out your townhome that you bought for $200,000 is now worth $285,000. You've already paid it down to $155,000. Now you're playing with $100,000 that you can put towards a new house after 10 years. All right? That's a big difference. There's a lot going on there. Okay? So, yeah, there's very different scenarios going on there. Anyway, so if you're renting, you usually can't do upgrades to your house like a really cool video doorbell. And if you're renting, it really wouldn't be worth it for you to put any money into making the house green. So you can't install cool little 2-button flush systems, one for P, one for number 2s. Alright. And if you're renting, it really wouldn't be worth it for you to spend money and put some solar panels on your house, right? So now you're owning a house, you're paying less for utilities, you're increasing your equity, you're getting more money. Am I getting through to people? It is more beneficial to buy than to rent. So the moment that you're able to actually buy a house, you should jump on it. Now, I know I'm getting a little bit hard about the difference between buying and renting, and not everybody can always buy. I mean, there's people in the military, there's people who have jobs where they travel a lot and they're not really able to buy a house yet, and that's okay. I'm just trying to explain the different scenarios for any millennial, any first-time home buyer, anybody that's gonna move out of their parents' house, or you're finally going out on your own. I wanted to be able to provide a visual of what the differences are financially, and the control that you have over your space and the things that you're able to do and the community that you're able to be a part of. Being homeowners is really, really, really great, and right now it's easier than it has been before to become a homeowner. I hope that the message that everybody gets from this is that when at all possible, see if you can qualify to buy instead of renting. And who knows, you might be able to find a home that you're really happy with and you're able to make a life there for the next 10 years and maybe see your kids even grow up at that house. Anyway, this episode's been a little bit long, but I appreciate everybody sticking through with me. Thank you for joining us for our second episode of the 5-Minute Real Estate Guide with me, Gabriel Fernandez. Make sure you tune in next week for our next episode, Finding a Mortgage Loan for Your House Buying, and we'll see you around. Have a great Father's Day weekend, and I'll see you next week.